up, Pete? It's your boy Ray Grady, man. We are here back with another episode of Alpha Nation. So, happy Wednesdays to those coming out. Keep supporting the channel. Please like, share, subscribe, look at, comment what you like, what you don't like. I'm open to all, what you want to call it, comments, right? So, let's do it like this. I just have to get that out the way. I don't really like doing it, but it is what it is. And let's please support and subscribe to Drobe Stogies, our sponsor here at Drobe Cigars in Inglewood, California. La Brea, it's the hood, you know what I'm saying? I always come home. They make me feel like home. So shout out to Jakeem and RT, the whole Drobe's Cigar Lounge family. I've been around them for, I say, about, a year or so now, maybe about 2 years. So, salute. So, let's get right into it. Today's guest, this is family to me. This is real family to me. I'll say I've been in LA for 13 years. I've been knowing them every bit of 13 years. So, I'll tell the story about how I knew the dude loved me and later on in the show. So, without further ado, he's a philanthropist. I want to call him an educator because he loves kids. Howard graduate. I think he has at least 20 businesses. I can't keep up with him. You see the outfit from Flint, Michigan, my brother, and he just made Forbes. I don't want to say the list, but they did a beautiful article on him in Forbes. Omar Mcgee.
Thank you, brother. That was a great intro.
What's up, brother? You all right?
Good.
Listen, man. This nigga here, he works a lot. I know you think it was gonna be PG, nigga. I don't do the PG shit. This grown shit here. This nigga works a lot. Now I work, but he outworks me, right? So let me tell you how this. The cat has executive prep. He started a preparatory school of finance. My children went there. Then he got the celebs, the LeBron to donate shoes, Mike Epps, a list of A-listers to come down and just support his brand. I knew something was up with him. I think it was at Obama's dinner you went to. I was all right, I'm scared of him now because you can't get a cat that's just, he didn't dress like this when I met him. He had probably this on, and then before you know it, he dressed up like that, and before you know it, he was at the I want to say the mayor's ball. He was at the Obama's, dinner. He just started ascending. So I was like, okay, I see what he's on. And then now he has a concierge to the stars. Like you rent out jets. Is that what it is? I don't want to make
partner. That's a partnership of the exotic cars.
Exotic cars.
Yeah.
How many business you got?
I don't have that many. I don't have that many no more. Like
no
I
more.
Used to. Yeah, it's just strictly right now. It's strictly the cars.
Sticking to cars.
Yeah. It's fast money. It's really good to me.
Jeez. So you from Flint, born and raised?
Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan, born and raised. How was Flint now? Because I know you was over there donating with the water and all that. I know you.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's funny that you say that. Like me and my best friend right now, we just, we were looking back and looking at all the destruction and how bad it is right now. It's just like it's really, really, really bad, and it's, people just look at water, but it's lead inside the water, right?
Okay.
And what people don't understand, like it's thousands and thousands of kids that's been affected by it, right? Mm-hmm. And the effects are irreversible. You're talking about memory loss, you're talking about health, you're talking about all these things that it causes in you. And the nation, they just got wind of it in, last 2 years.
So the nation just got wind of it the last 3 years?
Last 2 years, yeah. It's been going on for like 5-6 years, right?
Oh my God.
So it's drastic. So we're creating a foundation right now called the Hugh Foundation that's going to really give back to the community in a lot of ways, from education to mental health to health and wellness, and trying to solve the problem as best we can. You know what I mean? So it's just our way of giving back. Shout out to my best friend, Jermaine Smith. He's going to spearhead it while I'm out here.
Jermaine Smith, salute, G.
Yeah.
The good thing about when I saw Flint PD, is it Flint PD? I remember y'all had
a lot of friends in that documentary. I had a lot of friends in that documentary.
So when I saw the documentary on Netflix, I'm like, nah, not Flint. And then
nah, it's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait a minute. And I remember growing up in Chicago. Chicago, we we're a sellers and buyers market for music.
Got it.
All right, so let me tell you how far my Flint knowledge goes back. DFC, MC Bree, Top Authority,
Yeah,
real rap groups in Flint, Michigan.
I went to school with Top Authority, Dayton Family,
Dayton Family, I was Ms. One,
yeah, all of them. Raheem, Ira, all of them. We still cool to this day.
Really?
I just went to my birthday party. I had a birthday party like 3 years ago in Michigan, Flint, and they all came out.
They all came out.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you
Yellow,
something.
all of them, man.
Oh my goodness. When I tell you, when they came through Chicago to all the hood niggas that had Impalas and them damn Sevilles,
Yeah, that's them.
everybody was bumping Dayton Family, Top Authority, as well as DFC. You know what I'm saying? We was bumping. The caps get peeled. Oh my goodness, I couldn't. I had to get the cassette. Man, we had to get the cassette, right? So until you played it out, and you had to, it stay in your damn cassette play.
I'm a huge fan of all of them still to this day, man. Like I support anything they do, man. And it's, I grew up on it. You know what I mean?
Man,
So our hood superstars.
Man, so I went to check out the interview, right? First of all, for a cat that I know to get Forbes to pay attention to you, that was big.
Yeah.
Like I showed my boys, who you love, my sons, you know what I'm saying? And Ray Ray was like, Daddy, I had to really look like that ain't Mr. McGee. That's like they don't know he can play basketball very well. He can shoot the rock and all that. He's like, he on Forbes. And I'm just like, if you stop bullshitting, you can go get whatever you want. And the good thing about me leaving Chicago to go to Atlanta, to go to New York, and then finally set my ass here, I saw a bunch of opportunity, right? And so we met on the basketball court at Poinsettia. I don't forget shit. I got a memory like hell. I don't forget nothing.
No question.
So the good thing was I knew it was something different. One day we was playing ball, we was hooping, it was real physical. I mean the gym, not us, but the gym just had a lot of tension, and this was 08, 09, something like that. And then I think one day you had copped that Beamer, and I knew then I wasn't gonna see you no more. You had that damn 740. What was it? It was a 7.
Life was changing.
Oh my goodness! And then let me tell you, I knew you loved me, dog. Remember, I had got that call to go to Ontario. Look at his face. He was. It wasn't like he was mad, but he was just like, "Let me see," because some comics or some acts will tell everybody they good. Yeah. I never said that.
Bro.
I just say, "Look, man, I got a show."
Funny part about it in Poinsettia, it was all the comedians.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of comedians you see on TV today.
Yeah, a lot of them. Barry Brewer doing well. A lot of us. And the cool thing was, you were just like, yo, you took me in the BMW.
Yeah.
And you was like, where we gotta go? And I was like, Ontario. He was like, Ontario, where that's at? I was like, about 60 miles south. 60 miles south. And he came from wherever he was living. Came pick me up in Santa Monica. We hit the 10, stayed on the 10 all the way got to Ontario. I think it was for, who was it for? Who was our opener? Was it Mike Epps? It was Earthquake. And he was just like, nigga, you funny. I'm like, yeah, I'm just not really gonna do a lot of talking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that was that show. If I wouldn't have never just asked, that could have fucked my opportunity up with Quake. Only because he was just like, look, nigga, I keep hearing everybody talking about you. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And
well,
so,
if you're brave enough to ask me at that point, I think that was probably our second time ever meeting.
Ever,
right?
Yeah. And I was willing to pay the gas.
That wasn't the point. The point was the fact that I know we all out here on the grind together, and if you have the guts to ask me, that means it's for real, right?
Yeah.
Because you're just not gonna ask a stranger anything like that unless it's it's a real moment that you really, really need this. You know what I mean? And I know how it is, man. LA is tough.
How long you been? That long?
Yeah, shit.
I bet.
I've been here about since 2006.
So you got here 2 years before I did?
2 years before.
I got here January 7th, 8th of 08. I got here during the NBC writer's strike.
Yeah, we grown a lot.
Yeah, man. The good thing about what I saw your trend when you started getting things together, you start getting your feet wet, and it was like you just started having melting pots of networking people that was really carrying your banner. Like, man, we behind Omar.
Yeah.
You know, you had did one of the campaigns in the hood.
Yeah.
You know, I think for executive prep, and you had the parade, and I was like, my nigga doing parades, like, oh shit, that was big. So, do you think that has anything to do with coming from Flint?
No, no question about it. I always tell people that, like, you can contest to this. Like, where we from, you know, it's poor people everywhere.
Hmm?
But we live in poverty on top of coal. So it's really no time to play, right?
No
and
bullshit.
then it's so segregated,
Okay.
all right? So
In Flint.
in Chicago too.
Oh my goodness, yeah, Chicago. We probably number one for segregated.
Yeah, and it's a Midwest thing, right?
Yeah.
So on top of that, it's not a lot of opportunity because it's proximity. Like,
Yes.
okay, like so black people around black people, and it's only a few that's doing what they're supposed to be doing, or just some amazing stuff, right?
Yes.
So my idea of coming out of college, like, yo, if I go back to Flint, I don't have a shot.
Oh wow.
Come out here, I have a shot. I got a gang of shit. But when I got out here, I just didn't realize how relaxed people were.
Yeah, they lazy out here, nigga.
And I saw so much opportunity. And mind you, I drove out here with nothing.
Oh, you drove?
Oh, I drove from Flint a 2000, and probably a 99 or 2000 Honda Accord.
How many miles you had on that bitch before you got
100
it?
something.
100.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
shit, I'm
definitely
about to die then.
Yeah, it was a prayer that got me here. You know what I mean? So it was, but honestly, like, I just knew once I, you know, made it to LA that I was gonna win, man, because I just realized really quickly, like, they don't see all this opportunity around here, right?
I think it's just that. I think it's the. I always say this too. If cats want to know how LA is, there's no change of season.
Nah, you can hustle 24/7.
That's the problem with
365.
these LA niggas. Y'all be like, you do know. Where I'm from, we play basketball in the snow.
Yeah, it was real.
You do know they don't even drive out here when it rains.
And not to say there's no hustlers out here, because it is. But
No, I'm just saying, I'm talking about
in
entertainment.
general.
I'm talking about the entertainment.
But I'm just talking about
Yeah, I haven't
business-wise,
seen.
business-wise as well. It's a relaxed, you know, feel. And it was, for me, it was like, yo,
Gotta
y'all
go
don't
get
see
it.
what's going on.
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta go get it.
it was amazing to me, man. I never saw this much money in one place in my life. I couldn't sleep. It was just like,
Opportunity.
it's just, to this day, I still had that hunger. Like, I just can't believe that they're not taking advantage of this. You know, it's like California has more money
Yes.
than any other state. If you take,
Next to Texas?
oh, way more. Far as people, I mean, Silicon Valley all the way to Hollywood.
Oh, I thought you was talking about resources.
No,
Texas
I'm
got
just
that.
talking about individuals with money.
Got you. Yeah, true.
If you take California off of the United States, the only country richer than it is the United States.
Hmm.
You have
Check
more
that out.
billionaires in this state than any state. In
That
this
is
country.
true.
So,
To
come on,
be
man,
around that.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think let's say far as with the hustle mentality,
Mhm.
right? Where did you get that from? Was it an uncle? Was it your old man? Because I know you real close.
Yeah, my old man was just, you know, more of morals and values. He taught me the basics of business. You know, my mom died at an early age from alcoholism, and so, you know, I was the kid. You know, I'm the baby of 8, so we didn't have a lot.
Damn.
So I had to figure things out like at an early age, and I just, you know, to be honest, man, it's certain people are just born with something. It's no rehab for what we have. You know what I'm saying? Once you learn the game and know how to hustle and want more, you're just born with it, man. I can't even give you a blueprint of where it come from. It's just something that's in you. Because the rest of my brothers and sisters, not the rest of them, but
I get
they
it.
all have different personalities, right?
Mhm.
I'm totally different than them when it comes to hustling. You understand? So, and then I'm the baby, so I saw a lot too. I saw their mistakes and shit. So I
Yeah,
knew
people don't know. If you're the youngest one,
Yeah.
you can see the success.
Yeah,
you
and
can see the failures.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
knew what alcohol would do. I knew what having a kid early would do. So, you know, I saw those things. Some people would take that and repeat the mistakes. Not me. I was just more of, you know, always like, yo, I'm gonna be better than this, I'm gonna be better than that, I'm gonna be better than this. I didn't know how, but
Yeah.
eventually I figured out.
And so, because I'm gonna go to the situation with you and your dad, right?
Yeah.
I had seen one of your posts you had put up, and it was about your dad still like to cut his grass or shovel his snow, Was it the house? It was like the old house that you
Where
went
was
to?
the whole house? He was a dollar house. My dad bought a dollar house after his divorce from my mom when I was young, like, you know, my adolescence years in elementary school. He bought a dollar house. A dollar house is what was going on. You probably had this in Chicago too, but a dollar house is when the shops were closing, they were trying to keep the hoods up because everybody was losing their houses at a rapid pace, right? Because the jobs were leaving.
Oh,
right?
from the...
Yeah, this is the beginning of the downfall. Right?
Okay.
So the government was coming up with all these things. It's like if they give you a house for $1, you got to stay in it for like 3 years before you sell it, right?
Okay.
But you take that house and you fix it up. So he got the dollar house, but he ain't had the money to fix it up. So imagine the conditions of this house through a winter.
Oh my goodness.
You understand what I'm saying? So it was just
a flint winter too.
Yeah, a flint winter. You dig what I'm saying? So it was just those things that, you know, it's a stain on your shirt that you can't get off. You just never forget those days, and you just never want to go back to that. You know what I mean? And you understand what that is.
I think that, you know, because...
But to answer your question, is, you know, those type of things. I saw him hustle to build his business back up throughout all the chaos that was going on. You know what I mean? And the fact that I was able to work with him, you know, it wasn't the most sophisticated things, but the basics never change in business, right?
And what was it that your pa, what was the...
Well, I mean, I had to learn how to write estimates, how to deal with customers. You know, my dad, like, you know, he dropped out of high school, elementary. He's smart as hell, common sense wise. So we had to pick up certain things that he wasn't capable of doing, right?
Dope.
Right?
Dope.
Not saying he's illiterate or anything like that, but you
I
know
get
how
it.
it's sophistication. You know, he's 81, his things changing fast,
Yeah.
technology, all these things. So we literally had to run a business, right? So those basics, when I got to school, it was just like, I'm not going to school for business, I'm going to school for communication, right? Because I need to learn how to sell whatever I'm producing or whatever product I'm selling, right?
That's dope.
Yeah.
So you went to college for communication?
Yeah. I know business like the back of my hand. I don't need to go to school for that. I was born in that, right? I need to learn how to convince people that my idea is the best. I need to learn how to convince these customers that my product is the best, right? And learn how to stand out from everyone else. So that was always something that I worked on as a child, just like separating myself from the average.
That's dope. So, and I read the article that you that you sent. You spoke very highly about diversity.
Yeah.
Omar, that was, first of all, that was, it kind of threw me for a loop, because I was like, you know, I see the cat, you know, how, you know, we see each other, it's always love. But then when you had the cigar lounge, and you had every business that I've ever seen you in, and then when my kids went to your school, you had white kids, you had Asian, you had everybody. And I was just like, damn, he really speak. I never thought about it. I just thought teachers was just teachers. But then that to me was the underlying tone, like, okay, he's really about diversity.
Well, the school,
what made you come up with that?
The school was majority black, but I wanted to have diversity in it because at the end of the day, I had to learn by trial and error. We're not prepared from our childhood for the rooms that we want to go in. So for instance, if Obama is having a dinner or if Bob Yari is having an expensive dinner on his boat, we're not prepared to go in those rooms, right? So we have to figure that out. Like the first time I went to a high-end dinner when they had 12 forks laid out on the table and, you know, the bowl of water sitting in front of you, have to put your feet, like I've never seen that before, right? Yeah. So I'm highly intimidated right now, right? I'm very insecure at this table. Yeah. But then your hood instincts kick in, right? You've never seen things like this before, so the first thing I do is look across from me, and whatever that lady ate, I ate. Whatever fork she picked up, I picked up. You dig what I'm saying? So, but at that point, I'm learning, like, okay, I got to prepare myself for these rooms.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the only way you can do that is through diversity.
All day.
And understanding, okay, what is it that Asians like? Okay, what's their culture? What's the big thing in the Jew culture? What is, you know, all these things, because you have to work in these worlds, right?
Yes.
And you have to know how to sell them as well, because they're customers as well. We get so caught sometimes in black, but you have to understand everything.
Yes.
Right? And especially coming in when, you know, a lot of people walk through our doors, and I'm more exotic than the cars are. They're looking at like, wait.
Yeah. Posh.
We've never seen you before.
Ever.
You know what I'm saying? Because blacks are not in this world, right?
No.
So I have to prepare myself for those rooms.
And you know what? Go back to the part about the 12 forks and knives and all that. me going to culinary school.
Yeah.
So when cats would be like, hey man, we going to take the chick out to crustacean. I'm like, I went to culinary school. So no restaurant to me is this.
Yeah.
I did it for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
This is nothing. I understand that. Only difference is the people change.
The people change.
But the
exactly.
etiquette never changes.
Never
the maitre d' runs the restaurant. The sous chef runs the kitchen.
Exactly.
People don't know that. They be like,
Yeah.
oh, they see the dude with the top. No. He's an executive. He's telling him what to do. The sous chef runs shit. The maitre d' runs the restaurant.
And see, and that's a rare thing. So you have a clear idea of what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The average guy from the hood has no idea about, how to navigate these, rooms and different worlds.
Because I think even the first time I seen a shrimp fork, then I seen a salad fork.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay. And then you have to do a demonstration. So what a demo is, Julia Childs would come to Chicago. Her and Martha's Vineyard would come to Chicago, and they would rent out the Art Institute of Chicago.
Yeah.
So at that time, the culinary school that I went to was called Chic.
Yeah.
And they were 4th in the nation. And it's right in Cabrini Green projects.
Yeah.
250 students, 2% black. Me and Brenda and 3 chefs. Everybody else was from third world countries.
Exactly.
Right? So when I got into there, I understood about diversity because I'm like, oh shit, even though we're in 14K buildings surrounding us, but this little cubby hole, these white folks are protected.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna bother them, you know what I'm saying? Because Larrabee and Claiborne, there's the police station, and then they building the Walter Payton brand new high school. This is 94, G.
Yeah.
I'm 18 years old. I don't know nothing about my home ec teacher just called my parents like, this boy gifted with these hands, And I'm like, nah. They're like, no, we're gonna go check it out, go down there, and then.
And the funny part about that is like, when they realize you know what's going on, they look at you like, it was like a slave when the black person knew how to read. You know what I'm saying? It was like, who taught you how to read, boy?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah, man.
Like, where are you from? Like, how do you know how to do this? You know what I'm saying? Because it's just.
Because my mom didn't let me go in the kitchen. It was just, I'm gonna tell you what happened. So Miss Ross, Miss Carolyn Ross, if she's still out there, love you, Miss Ross. She changed my whole perspective, changed my life, right? So being 18 years old and then going to, Rich Central High School, and she just was like, listen, it was not a rowdy class, but I went to school with spoiled brats. And then you saw the have-nots, but I understood the have-nots only because they wanted what the spoiled brats had, which were matching clothes, a real belt.
And you was a have-not.
No.
You wasn't. Nah, so you had it all.
Well, I had a mother and father.
You had a mother and father, okay.
So
yeah.
my mom was a lot of people don't know this. See, my
So
mom
wait,
was,
you were not from, what part of Chicago are you from?
South
South Side, right? And that's by the projects, right?
Cabrini Green is the north side.
North Side, okay, you're right, okay.
That's up north. We call that the pole. We call
Got
that the
it,
North Pole.
got it.
So my mother and father, they did good with their bread. So my mother was an insurance claims adjuster for Allstate, 30-some years.
Okay, got it.
And then my dad he was an executive for Ebony and Jet.
Oh, shit, okay.
Yeah. So
I didn't know your stock was like that.
you an ass.
I didn't, man. I thought your home was broken and
No.
stuff. I never knew that. See, I'm learning.
No. The cool thing is, here's the thing, dog. When I understood bullshit,
Yeah.
every little boy that was searching for daddy's love, when I saw the rich kids, the parents that the dad was Luster's products, hair Luster, yeah, it's black owned business, you know what I'm saying? So when I saw these kids that drove to school in not Porsches but Camaros, but they was the year of the Camaro that's out. And then when you see them, and Kendall Gill went to the same high school with me.
One of my favorite players.
Right. So
Illinois.
So his family, yeah. So the good thing was, the high school had more racial tension than anything.
Oh, so yeah, you had totally different experience.
So I had to learn.
Yeah.
First of all, if you gonna mess around in this school, they don't even want you here.
Yeah.
They mad that your mom and daddy can afford to send you here just by driving, right? We took the bus and all that type of stuff. So my senior year in class, Miss Ross, she was just having a bad day with the kids, with us. So I just went up there and just made everybody laugh. And then she was like, well, you going to start off with the cheesecake. I said, I bet. I just, you know, it's like, she's short, leave that lady alone. She not a sub. Miss Ross she a real teacher. She'll cuss you out, but it's from love. It ain't from, you know, disrespectful. It ain't like, she wasn't one of those teachers like, I got mine, get yours.
Okay.
Right? So I didn't like those, you know, instructors. But what she did was, she was just like, come on. And then I took the...
Yeah, you access.
Right? She was like, look, go ahead, here's the cookbook. Look at it, and then go do it. Help everybody. And then she was like, oh, this boy, she was just like, oh, this boy can cook. Called my mom that day, you know, like, Raymond can cook. So I'm like, So my dad was like, all right, let's go down to the school. Go down to the school. You don't have to do no real introduction. They just checking you out just to seeing, like, are you going to be serious with it, right? So boom, when I graduated June 8th, 94, started culinary school August 4th, 94. Best shit ever. And I'm the youngest in the joint. And me and her name was Jennifer Park, I believe her name. She was from Argyle Gardens. That's South Side. That's another big ass project. Okay. So we was just the two youngest out of 22 students. You know, everybody else was grown folks. They was like, we tired of being traders, you know, on the web. We tired of, you know, the finance business. We tired of being a surgeon, whatever it was. Everybody was just different walks of life. The only thing that changed it was it was more people from third world countries. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It was like, where you from? Where you from? Oh, I'm from the slums. I understood what ghetto meant. Yeah. When they was like, oh, this ain't the ghetto. Like, ghetto's over in Ireland. You know, when you be like, oh, shit.
No paper.
Yeah, and the slums. Like, oh, okay, they changed the narrative over here. Yeah, so when I went there, and one thing I learned about it was that it was a team. So if we doing 8-course meals, the cat who's actually doing the garnishes on your plate, that's a garde-manger. You know what I'm saying? He's actually taking a fruit and making designs in it. You know what I'm saying? He's taking a carrot stalk and making incision on both sides of the carrot and pull back so it look like a palm tree.
No, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, this dope. So when they say, hey, when you a chef, you're a chemist, you're an artist, and you're a mathematician. Bakers have the best patience. Because to be a brilliant and a great baker, you have to have patience. When you're cooking, it's quick. You know, you saute, you cut up, you have to have nice skills, don't cut yourself. You gotta be able to go, you learn sanitation. All the shelves have to be 6 inches from the ground to, you know, you learn everything is quick. And then you have to just learn from that, and then it's fast paced. We have 500 people. So when you get a chance, you good in the kitchen, they say, hey, Mr. McGee, Grady, y'all going to do the demo for Julia Childs. For real, who's gonna be there? Aramark is gonna be there. Bismarck Hotel is going to be there. Kraft is going to be there. They was giving you real jobs, but I was a child. I wasn't. Then when you finish school, you can go to Milan, Italy, or you're going to Europe. I'm a child. And Bosnia and Croatia was at war. I wasn't going no damn well. You hear me? I wasn't going. So I understood when you said it could be a little bit intimidating to be at a formal dinner, and you have to know how to have your hand behind your back. They call it the lapel napkins. You just hold it. You know, everything is presentation, white linen, all that type of stuff. So I get that, man. You ever gonna do one?
No.
You're not gonna do one?
No.
You're not gonna do one? Oh.
Nah.
Not no more.
Nah, I'm done.
So when you did when you said, how was it when you got the call? Because that's the good one. When you got the call for Forbes.
Yeah, what people don't realize with Forbes, it's an investigation piece as well. Because
investigation piece?
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
That means that they want to see a few bank statements. They want to see, you know, they want to make sure it's real before they put a story out, right?
Wow.
Well, definitely in my case it was. So we had to go through that thing and make sure, you know, everything was, you know, upfront and tight and legit. Yeah. So, and then if, you know, it was humbling. You know what I mean? It was something that I wasn't expecting. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I just believe when you do great work and you separate yourself from the average, you know, that's just a common thread through my life is separating yourself. It's like when you do something, you got to do it so much better than everybody else and so different than everybody else.
Gotcha.
Right? Like I always would say, like, I'm not going to start off selling Toyotas because shit. that's not attractive to me, right? Or
He
it's
said he's not going to start off selling Toyotas.
Nah, I mean it's just not my thing. Like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
Like okay, let's start here, right?
Gotcha.
Because that's where I want to be, right? So I knew when I started that it was going to always be opposition. You always had the naysayers. You always had people say that, you know, it's going to be hard. They're not going to let you in. You know, it's all that shit. That's how you know you got a great idea when you hear that, because that's the street that's empty.
Got you.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no traffic in this street, right? And everybody's doing the same thing. You know, the barbershops, the clothing lines, rapping. That's cool if you can do it. That's your thing, right? But I was just always like, okay, what can I do that's different, that I love, that I have passion for, right? And my dad was in the cars, you know, the industry, but that's why I went into other things first, in film and communications and things like that, because, you know, I was looking at Buicks and shit that just wasn't appealing to me, you know what I mean? And
you didn't like the 94 Riviera, nigga?
I mean,
you gonna
yeah,
pretend,
but I didn't know it was...
pretend you didn't like the Riviera?
Before I saw a Benz, you dig what I'm saying? You know, because we're from Motor City, right? So you think about it, it's only American cars there. So I didn't have no perspective. I didn't have no comparison until you leave, right? So when I went to Howard University, it was like, whoa, what the hell is that? You know, I'm like, I ain't never seen a range until I got to DC. You dig what I'm saying? I started, you know.
I tell my boys this. I tell my sons. They was like, Dad, when did you find out you was a man? I said, when I moved to DC.
Yeah.
DC, man, Chocolate City.
It's beautiful, man. If it wasn't for LA, I would definitely live in
all day.
DC.
That's home.
It's not even no comparison.
That ain't even, it's not Chicago, but it's home. Like when I fly into Dulles or fly into Reagan or fly into BWI, I'm home.
Oh, that's the most amazing place in the world. I tell everybody.
I go to sleep there.
I love DC, man. I tell you, you know what's crazy? I never knew anything about Chicago until like 6 or 7 years ago. I never went to Chicago, right? And the reason I never went to Chicago is because I just slumped it in with Detroit, St. Louis, and the rest of them, right?
Yeah.
So I
till you go.
Yeah. So an organization flew me out there to mentor some boys, right? For another, and that's when I was into the school, right?
Yeah.
Man, I saw Chicago. I couldn't believe the city was so big, man. I was like, yo, this place is crazy.
Yeah, man.
If I knew Chicago was that big, I probably wouldn't be in LA.
You like the city for real, then?
Nah, I do like the city, but it's just that weather, though. That's the only thing.
Well, you just gotta know how to lay it up.
Yeah, but I like to hustle 365. I don't.
You can still do it.
Yeah, that's just not the weather thing.
So
I graduated from that Michigan thing. I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
we still sharing Lake Michigan.
Yeah, that wind is the same.
Yeah,
But no, just I'm a little off subject, but yeah,
good.
Chicago was dope. But DC was a beautiful place for me, and I learned a lot, right? And that was like the first time I was able to, because I couldn't afford to come back home all the time. So I would go with, you know, go home with your friends or whatever girl you was dating at the time, and you see like, man, you got mother and father, they had doctors and lawyers, and you just really saw like the family structure of what it was supposed to be, right? It was all positive, supportive, and you know, she has no debt, you know, can't
got you
too much money to get financial aid, but the parents take care of everything.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like, man, you know, her validation sticker come on time, and she got all her books, man. It's just like, damn, like your life is straight, you know what I mean? And it's rightfully so, like, and she takes full advantage of it, or he takes full advantage of it. It was just really a dope thing, and it was a good experience for me because I never saw that, right? But all those little experiences in college and traveling and seeing the world, it just kind of shaped me, you know. It made me really hungry, like, for a lot.
I said a joke one day when I was doing the DC Improv, me and Tony Rock, and I said, anybody that go to Howard University, they know how to get money. I don't know what it is, what y'all do. I don't know if it's the Florida Avenue side or the Georgia Avenue side, or if it's that y'all right, you know, a few blocks from the White House.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. Education is what it is, right? Obviously, we're the Harvard of the HBCUs,
HBCU,
right? So I think that the standards are high for one, but our alum is amazing.
For going to, are you saying going to Howard or graduating? Because
both.
Howard dudes are
both.
Men and women.
It shapes you into being who you are, right? men, you have standards, you have etiquette, you have all the things that you should have, right?
Okay.
And then the standards are so high, so it's like you better be doing your thing, especially with social media out now, right?
Yeah.
And then the homecoming being so big,
Oh my
you got to come back and face that fury. So it gives you a different hustle. Like,
Do you go back?
I haven't been back in a while. I'm going back. I was going to go back this year, but next year, you know, my niece, I just sent my niece
Yeah.
to college, so I'm definitely going to be there a lot. But yeah, definitely next year I'm going. And I will credit a lot of it to just the culture and our alum. It's really, really strong. Like, we can depend on our alum for anything.
Man, let me tell you something. When I moved there, I was married, you know, to my youngest, to Yash mom. And when I tell you, I hit that goddamn Beltway, it was a wrap. I went down, so this is pre-MapQuest. This is before Google Maps and all that. We just had a damn atlas, you know, and I was working for Bell Atlantic, you know, the phone company. And when I tell you, man, I think the district is what, 75 square miles? Or?
Yeah, 65.
65, something like that.
Yeah.
When I tell you, man, it literally took me a month to learn.
Oh, it's crazy.
So
It's crazy.
my little cousin, he took PG County. My uncle said, Ray, we gonna put you in DC. And so I went down to Benning Road, that's Northeast, you already know. Then when you get over to like Southeast, and I'm like
Southeast,
on
yeah.
Southern Avenue, Alabama.
What year was this?
This was 99, 2000.
Oh yeah, you was still in the mix a little bit. It was rough out there.
Yes, it was. I used to go get my.
Gentrification haven't.
No, it didn't start.
It didn't start.
Yeah, they ain't start
They was
fixing up
making
U
plans.
Street. So I used to go to the halfway house on 6th and I and get my car washed.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, and tip them. But man, when I tell you, and then you know, my aunt stayed in Bowie, so I stayed in Bowie too.
Yeah.
Place got done in Falls Church, Virginia.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, man, I had Harris Teeter. That was my first time looking at that. To me, that was not Trader Joe's. What's the other one? Whole Foods. Harris Teeter. If you look at their decor, it's the same as.
You want to hear something funny?
Come on.
That's why I love Bill Cosby, man. Like, they can say whatever they want to say about Bill Cosby. I love Bill Cosby. The only reason I know about Howard because I was looking for Hillman.
Damn.
I never even knew it existed.
He was wearing it on the show.
Well, I thought Hillman in a different world was a real college.
That was Hampton.
No,
What was it?
it was Hillman. That was the name of the college, Hillman.
That's a real college?
No, that's just the name of the college that was on the show.
Got you. Okay.
Right? And I was like, I want to go there. But Hillman is in the H's, right?
Got you.
So that's how I smile Howard.
Dig that.
Yeah.
He threw
So-
he threw the alley-oop.
Oh man, all day long, man.
He threw the alley.
I credit like, cause I wanted that life. Like, man, I used to watch the Cosby Show. Like, damn, this shit, like, this is dope, right?
Because
And
I
then
know
the
Different World was
came-
at, yeah. That
So
was
Different
spin-off.
World was the Hillman. That's the college. they
Got
went to,
you.
Right. And
You know
like,
what? You said something right. Yeah, you absolutely right.
Right, yeah. So that's how I got into like the black colleges and everything. And I would watch the shirts and look at their shirts all the time. They would always have Howard Spelman, Morehouse, and all these colleges. And I'm like, damn. And then I just remembered the Howard shirt, and I was like, well, that shit right here. So that's how I started investigating.
Let me ask you this, because
Doing my
that's very profound that you came up with that. If you notice back in the 80s and early 90s, that was promoted. That was promoted.
Yeah, it was.
They were like, yeah, let's go ahead and just show blackness and strength and numbers and, you know, education. And we had conscious rap. We still had the gangster rap, but conscious rap
Yeah.
was still outshining the gangster rap. And then it just fell off.
just-
So how do you feel far as, do you think, I can't wait till it get back there. I just think it's our culture that introduced the children, because, you know, when my boys was at your school, them little boys look at you like as a father.
Yeah.
And so when you guys, when your school was invited to go to Bishop T.D. Jakes,
Yeah.
and my sons, they didn't know who he was, and I was like, just pay attention, you know what I'm saying? Do you think that, how do you feel the way the youth is perceived? Because that seemed like that small propaganda.
I mean, how they perceive now?
Yeah.
By,
So when you said you seen him with the Hillman,
yeah.
Hillman made you find Howard.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's something that you could do, as well as being
Well,
a philanthropist, as well as?
I mean, obviously, if you follow me, you're gonna see Howard consistently through my timeline. Like, that's just
Yes, sir.
something that I do
Mhm.
to make sure that that's, you know, always promoted in anything that I do. Like no matter how I'm doing anything, somehow Howard is going to come, or 9 times out of 10, like I was just talking to my friend yesterday about this. It's like crazy. When we first graduated from college, everybody was like getting jobs, right? Like everybody was getting high-end jobs, lawyers, doctors, you know, at corporations, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And starting off at record companies or whatever corporation it is, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, you know, 2099, right?
Okay.
So, you know, at that time, everybody was just like on their hustle, really trying to make their imprint in the world. But it's funny now, like when you would call somebody for a favor, it was, at that time, it was 7 phone calls for them to get to the top to try to help you.
Gotcha. Okay.
But now, 20 years later, those people are CEOs now.
Gotcha.
It's only 1 phone call, right?
And you know them.
And you know them.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
So it's like now things are moving like in warp speed. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean when I say alum. It's just like, let's do this. Right? Come out and get ready to run. Let's all get together and let's make this happen. We gave her like, you know, a ton of money. You know, it's a ton of money raised, right? And you talk about Isaiah.
Oh, you talking about Kamala?
Kamala, yeah.
Kamala,
Harris.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Kamala Harris.
The
No, you
sister.
said it right. I said Kamala.
Yeah,
It's
no.
Kamala Harris.
The sister who's in there. She's
Yeah,
a
Vice
Howard
President,
alum.
but this is when she was running for Attorney General.
She was running for Attorney
Yeah,
General.
yeah,
Okay.
at the time. So I mean, we've been supporting her for a long time, and she just, you know, that's just one thing, but it's just, you know, we just really, really support each other. It's a real tight knit family that's really about making moves.
Because I think when you know, going, you know, being a comic, and you know, I did probably maybe in my 19 years, I probably have done 6 universities, stand-up wise.
Yeah.
Because I just felt like they were children. You know, they're not on my mental state. You know what I'm saying? But then, how do you educate these babies?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
And you're right. They are future customers.
a lot of it is just exposure, man. You got to show them, and you got to inspire. Like whatever you do, you know, it's like I always look at Obama, right? Like, well, he never did anything for black people.
He's done a
If
lot.
Obama did nothing, if he did nothing at all, he gave us an example that kids would never ever get a chance to see.
SG.
A black man, a black woman, the most educated to ever be elected, right? And for one, the wife is more educated than he is. Right? Beautiful kids.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful picture. Very aspirational.
I get that because I remember when you go to the school, it's a big picture of him.
Yeah.
He had a big picture of
a lot
Obama, Jay-Z, Magic Johnson,
Robert Stewart.
Yeah, man. So when I saw that, I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I see what you're doing.
Because I just want them to constantly see, you know,
Us.
winners and us, people that look like. Because I mean, if we had those images, like we had good images, like people in the community that had a good job, where you go to school.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool. It's totally needed.
Yeah.
But we didn't have that. You know what I mean? And if we did, it was so far-fetched, right? Like we couldn't.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought Hillman was a real college. Like I didn't know that was
Gotcha.
that's some shit they put together. You know what I'm saying? Like
To come up with Hillman, that's dope though.
no, it's dope. I mean,
I was like,
it's,
okay.
no, but my point is
Yeah.
that like we look at it as TV. We like sometimes we don't realize that that's really a reality in a lot of cases, right?
Yeah.
Coming from these communities because everything around us is so dysfunctional,
Yes.
right? So, and sometimes we find comfort in dysfunction and just and cool with it.
Gotcha.
And we have to grow past that, right? So you need those examples in them blueprints, right?
So far as being, you know, I would like to consider you as an educator, bro. You know what I mean? How do you see the education system for us now that you?
Man, right now, to be honest, it's all about really one-on-one with your kids, man. Homeschooling and putting that extra effort in and getting them. If they're going to public school, you're gonna have to add more.
So
they're not gonna get
homeschooling, and then what was the other one? You have to add more. You have to.
If they're going to public school, you have to add more to that.
Gotcha.
Right. And that's after school programs or one-on-one tutors, because we're falling behind in the education. The world is leaving us behind. Like we was number 1, and we like at 13 right now, right?
Real shit.
So it's not something that we can ignore anymore. You know, and it ain't just a black thing.
No.
No, it's not a black thing.
No,
Right?
it's
I
not
mean,
black.
obviously they paying, you know, for
Yeah.
kids to go to USC now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
that's real. And I'm gonna ask you a question because I know you was a father to a lot of little boys and girls. Are you ever going to think about having kids, or you just felt like?
Nah, man, nah. Like if it happens, it happens. But man, like I tell my wife all the time, like she's like, you sure? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, babe. We have one. Man, I have a great life, bro. Like I can't ask God for nothing else, man. I'd be so ungrateful.
At least you honest. That's why I love you.
Nah, but I'm just being honest. Like I can't. Like I feel ungrateful asking God for like, man, can I just like, dude? I'm cool, bro. Like be honest. I got 32 nephews and nieces, man.
Yeah, you got a lot.
Yeah, I got a lot. I got a niece that I'm raising like a daughter, man. I'm good, man. Like I'm so good.
So let's say this: if you did have a son or a daughter, hypothetically, what would be 2 things you wouldn't do as a parent, as a father?
What I wouldn't do? Sheesh, I didn't even thought about that.
I want to make it interesting. You know?
I wouldn't guide them on. One thing I wouldn't do is I wouldn't tell them what they're going to be. That's one thing I wouldn't do. Right? I expose them to everything and whatever they gravitate towards, as long as it's possible, obviously.
So you wouldn't tell them what they're going to be?
No, I'm not going to tell them what they're
That's
going to
the
be.
first one.
I'm not going to have them in basketball camp at 2 years old, like all that. No, it's not going to happen. Like, you go play basketball. If you want to play, play. If you want to play football, play. Because, you know, we put too much emphasis in majority of the parents, I ain't going to say majority of the parents, but a lot of the parents like that, I feel, personally, is losers in what they're trying to make their kids.
So you can say it again. They losers.
They're losers
I get it.
in basketball
right.
or whatever it is. That's why they're so excited about their kids becoming that, because they couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And
what's the second one?
I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of bad habits, so I don't really have, like, you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
you got me having this vice. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, this is not a bad habit.
No, this
we
not
don't
a
go to
bad
jail
habit.
for this.
No, we don't go to jail.
Let's see. Man, I don't know, man. I probably would just, you know, I wouldn't do this. This is another thing I don't like.
Okay.
I tell you, I just had an argument about this. Like,
Okay.
A lot of us that come from the hood, they always think they need to take their kids back to the hood to show them, and they need those instincts. I'm like, bro, like, me personally, the lifestyle my child is gonna live, he's not gonna need those instincts, bro.
Okay.
So like, why would you even introduce him to those things of, you know, I used to get my ass whooped.
Of treachery, right?
Go get the switch off the
Right.
Like, I mean, just those type of things.
Yeah.
And I just think it's another level of life that we can grow from. We don't have to go backwards, right? You can tell your story, let them learn from it.
Yeah.
You know, answer the questions. If you want to come back home, I mean, you go back home for the reasons of just like, okay, this is where your dad is from.
Yes.
But the point of like, no, you gonna know what these drug houses is. You gonna know what the
Yeah,
fights you play.
that's
like,
sucker shit.
Yeah, it's just sucker shit. I mean, but it's a common thing, man. Like it's disgusting.
And I think that, you know, that's a good thing because, you know, when I did start doing well for myself out here, I made my #1 goal was to grab my sons.
Bro.
That was the main focus. I said, I'm gonna be funny enough, show this hustle mentality, you know what I'm saying? Even though when cats found out, like, well, man, you know, you're not from, you thought I was, you know, podunk. I'm like, no, I'm cool with everybody.
Yeah, I thought you was poor as shit.
No, I'm cool with every. The difference is I can walk in both circles. That's the difference, right?
Yeah,
and
no
the way that I did that was I never tried to be something that I wasn't. Here's the difference. When I started doing stand-up, I'm performing in front of gangsters. When you perform in front of street niggas, they have the most fun, even though they have a very shitty life once they make the sale and
They don't get a chance to laugh a
they
lot.
can't enjoy it. But if you see them with their homies that got money, they joking like a.
Yeah.
They like, man, remember old girl that took to the Zanzibar, you know, at the hotel, he paid for the bitch.
They want,
bitch ran up.
they want the opportunity to laugh. They don't get a chance to laugh a lot. So it's really a precious moment for them.
When I tell you, dog, I'm talking about we just saying real street niggas.
No,
It's the street nigga that's loud, and it's the street nigga that's quiet, and it's the street nigga that's both, and it's the OG. He just mostly like, look, man, don't bring that shit around here. You remember like the movie The Bronx Tale, when Sonny was like, don't bring this over here. Get this gun off the block before you get us all pinched.
Yeah.
I'm used to old cats like that. That's like, look, you can't come around here.
Which I think is missing.
Yeah, of course it's
I think
missing.
It's really missing. Like I just like when you reflect on how many old heads got out of prison and just like will sit down and teach us or talk to us
Man.
about stories of what it's like in prison,
Yeah.
and give us a clear vision.
Yeah.
And I think that's what these kids miss, especially on the streets, that they don't get a chance to talk to the OGs and understand their mistakes and understand consequence. I think that's the problem. Like, they don't understand the consequence of their actions. Like, they think jail is, oh man, that's, you know, my boy's in there, I'll be all right. Like, nah, bro, it's
jail
not like
is a
that.
resort to niggas
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, you keep.
But I
going
think
back.
a lot of them don't even know. They don't think that far ahead, right? Because it's such a common thing. Like, I go to jail.
Like you say, I go back to the words you just mentioned, consequence, right? I remember my oldest son was born, and my man, you know, rest in peace. The consequence was once he found out that I'm about to graduate, right? And he told me, and my son was about to be born. And he was like, "Don't come down here no more. Don't ever come down here, nigga.
That's what's needed.
Like, listen to me. You want eyes, we respect it. Don't ever bring your ass down. If you are, nigga, we gon' it's a problem for you. It's a violation to the utmost. And I'm talking like he's maybe 6 years older than me, right? But the good thing about him was he saw. Sometimes people don't know it's another person that's very dope, and visualize like, look, this ain't for you. You take your little ass, go over here. That's where you stay.
Yeah.
Leave the have-nots niggas alone and just be a inspiration to them. So when when you manifest your purpose, so I started looking at cats, and then when you start seeing older dudes like, man, I'm 44 years old. Oh, so when cats see me, they're like, man, G, they don't even say like you made it out. They was like, you inspire me, nigga.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's what I say. That's always the motivation for me, is to inspire. Like, right? Like, that's why it's like I don't want to do the common thing, because I know when I was looking for that, I couldn't find it. So I never want a kid to say I couldn't find it. Nah, you can find it, because I'm here.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm showing you how to do
Yeah,
it. Right?
you showing. I seen you with them kids, boy.
From the beginning to the end. Like, no, this is how you do it. There's no question about it. Like, you can't tell me anything. Right? Like I know this.
Yes.
Like, from A to Z.
Yeah.
I show you how to go from A to Z. It's gonna be hard work. It's gonna be a lot of BS.
No's.
And no's. And
You get a lot of no's.
And all that, right? But you learn from that.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think the good thing about, learning from things not given to you, the stuff that make you, want to fight it hard. Before I even did today's episode, the father, you know what I'm saying, he would just pull me to the side, because I'm, doing a business venture with, like a platform.
Yeah.
And he just pulled me to the side, like he was just looking at me, and I knew he wasn't lying, because he did not blink. You could tell when niggas is serious, and your nigga look all, he was just looking at me, just telling me like, no, that's yours, but do both. You can walk and chew gum.
Yeah.
You don't always have to go over here and just be like, I don't want to play around, but once he said, I was like, okay, it's a father. You know what I mean?
People understand when it's real, man. Like, they know when you're not playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They know. They can see it because they've been through it.
Yeah.
They've been your age. They
Yeah.
they've been your age before. So it's a common thing for them. Like, real recognize real. I'm a true believer of that. I know it's cliche, but it's true. Like, I always tell people this. Like, LA is super big.
Oh,
Like,
my
it's
goodness.
super big. Don't
It's
get me
dangerously
wrong.
big. It's
But
13 million people
very
here. Jesus.
small when it comes to people that's really doing things. The people that's really doing things, you
Okay.
see them all the time.
Yeah.
Like, when people are like, man, I can't get in contact because you're not doing shit. Because if you was doing some shit, you would be in contact with that person, right? Like, it's the truth.
That's a good one.
No, it's the truth.
That's
like,
a good one.
People always like, man, how you get in these circles? Because I'm doing shit to make these people pay attention to me. Or we at the same dinners, or we at the same restaurants, we at the same networking events, we at the same, we're donating to the same nonprofits,
Yeah.
or we helping the same politician.
Yeah.
All those things,
And I think that's a good point. And I just feel that most of the time, Omar, and you can agree or disagree, that most of the time opportunity is not met out of fear. A lot of people, like, it was like when I had started doing stand-up, even started doing this platform, even started doing merchandising, even wearing my own hat. It took me 18 years of telling jokes to even say I'm comfortable enough to wear my own merchandise. And I'm just saying, just for me, I'm not even trying to sell it. I just want to see, just like, let me just see, you know what I'm saying? So when you see that, and I was just like, well, damn, what was the holdup? It was mostly fear, G.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Fear can really dictate.
But you can't. Yeah, that's the thing. Like majority of the people, they always like, you know, you scared to fail. You're not scared.
No, I ain't scared to fail.
No, but I'm just saying the average person, they're not scared to fail because they already failing. They scared to succeed because they don't know what that shit is, right?
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
different.
I wanna be the next Jay-Z. All right, motherfucker, you want to be Jay-Z?
No, you
go
gotta
out
do.
there and perform in front of 10 million people, motherfucker. And you get frozen. That's to see. You ain't scared to fail, motherfucker. You scared to win right now. You dig what I'm saying? So like, like we look at it differently. It's the fear of the unknown, right? So you have people that, you know, they say they want it, but they say it to make themselves feel good. But when it's really actual and it's really about to take place, it's like, shit, this shit is like, this is real.
It's real.
Like now it's the unknown. Can I do this? Now it's going to challenge your character. It's going to challenge your strength, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be like, okay, oh, I'm funny.
Yeah.
All right, let me go to Ontario and watch your ass and see if you fucking funny, right?
man.
All right, now it's your turn to go on stage in front of Earthquake and all these people. Like,
And they paid to see him.
I remember I went to go see you. Like I went to go see you on Kevin Hart show. They was filming it. Was it BET?
Comedy Central.
Comedy Central, right? I never been to a comedy show before like that, right? I ain't never went to go see a comedian.
Yeah.
And I was in the crowd like, damn, you finna perform in front of all these fucking people, man. Like I was saying in my head, like I ain't no fucking way. I was like, I was scared for you. Like I'm like, man, you better not bomb on this shit. You dig what I'm saying? But it takes a different type of like that's where your strength come in. And like people would always ask me like, what people still to this day, like, oh man, I want to start me a car company. Where do I start? I said, all right, man. So you know, how much is your? I pay $100,000 a month in car notes. Shit, where I'm gonna get that fucking? See, you scared already. You right? It's
Real
fear.
shit.
That's fear. So
That's fear.
You're not afraid of failing because you already fucking losing in life.
Yeah.
Right.
You can see it on them. You can see it in their face.
So you scared to go forward. You scared of that responsibility. That's what you're afraid of.
That's G shit, that whole.
Yeah. So you know that's just how I look at it.
And I think even, you know, far as with cigars, right? Because I want to tell everybody, he's the reason I started smoking cigars, all right? So when I had to do, here's what happened. It was a club owner that told me I wasn't never going to, he said, you too real, you're not going to be able to go on and be accepted by these white folks, AKA Comedy Central. So when I got the call to be like, yo, Comedy Central want to give you a half hour. Kevin Hart is going to executive produce it. Bet. So I waited till it was done because, you know, that's the biggest, a lot of people don't know the failure in Hollywood entertainment. Don't tell nobody what you're doing. You just wait till it, you know you about to air because you got to make the edit cut. A lot of people just be talking and then, like, what happened to the show? Oh, man, they took it off there. Well, I got paid for it. Don't nobody see that. You know, people want to see, they want to see the success.
No doubt.
Because at that point, you just failed. You just showed us that you were failed. You got paid for it, but we didn't. The way you hurt an artist is visibility. Okay? So what I did was, when I got the opportunity, we shot it, and then I was like, yo, I got with my people, and it was like, listen, I want to be able to do a viewing of it. I don't want to watch it at home. So when I called you, and I was like, yo, he said, all right, you know, he was like, bet, come through. Now, I've never smoked a cigar ever in my life, you know what I'm saying? So this dude here, he was like, come on, he had a cigar lounge at the time, Dubson's, right? Right there by the airport, right on Manchester. And when I tell you, the first cigar that you gave me was a Partagas 1845 Maduro, the dark one.
Yeah.
I held on to that damn cigar for at least, I would say, 4 hours. Because I want to know what this type of life, I didn't know cigars was a lifestyle. I had no clue, G.
It's a rich habit.
What? Oh my goodness. It is a rich habit.
Yeah, and it puts you around money, man. So I like all my guys to pick up, you know, if I deal with you, man, I want you to win as much as I want to win, right?
Yeah,
so
you did that.
I know that if you start smoking cigars, it will put you in the company of people that's doing things, right?
Yeah.
And, across the world.
Yeah.
Because now what you're going to do is not only smoke, but when you travel, you're going to say, man, what's the hottest cigar lounge, right?
You're going.
So once you go into that cigar lounge, now you're introducing yourself into a whole nother group of people, of lawyers, doctors, promoters, businessmen, investors, just everyone, right?
Everybody,
and it expands your pool of resources of people that you can pull from.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You probably met more people smoking cigars now, and from that point, than
100.
Yeah, exactly, right?
100%. Because most of them wouldn't even, they be surprised when they even see me in there.
Yeah, right. So look, just imagine all the people that you met just by smoking cigars.
Yeah, and I, when I started really smoking, because I'm like probably like my 3rd year.
You need to get you away from broke friends. It does.
Omar said, it gets you away from broke friends.
Yeah, it will. Like, cause seriously, like, this is $10 to $30, $100.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I've been there plenty of times.
Yeah.
I'll call Jakeem over here at Drove Stogies. I'll say, OG, I need a jar of your house blend. Boom.
Yeah,
and I know that's some bread.
Well,
that ain't no.
like $400, right? So you're not gonna have your common. Yeah. So your common man is not gonna be in here, without a job talking shit, right?
Oh, not at all.
Exactly. So it keeps you around
Money. It
and
do keep you
wisdom
around money.
and knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you start learning, to me, I look at my cigar when I do smoke. It's meditative. It calms me, and I can think and I can focus. Most of it, when I did the miracle, when I started doing this, I was puffing. I was like, I need to do something for myself. Let me just I have a granddaughter, 2 years old, and I got 3 boys. I have to leave. Everybody have to have a job. Daddy provided stand-up, merchandising, Alpha Nation, and I might sing. I'm bullshit. I would never sing.
I promise.
But I'm just saying, just being able to, and the comedy tour.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to, that was my give back, because my mom and dad would always be like, the Bible say you're supposed to leave an inheritance, for your children's children. So I have a granddaughter. So that, I was like, oh shit. I want to make sure that my little granddaughter, I want to be able to leave her something, I want to be able to be like, she could be like, that's Pawpaw right there. Like when I do commercials and shit. And that was another thing. When I started getting into commercials, it was so many nations. I was like, why are you even talking, nigga? Yeah. You live with 7 niggas in an apartment. You got the closet.
But it's always that way. It's
right?
always the people that never, it's always the people that's not doing shit that got the most to say. Because the people that's doing something, they don't have time to even talk about.
Yeah, and I'm like, hold up, nigga, you want me to do your show. So the good thing was, and I won't say it's pride, but I always looked at it like, I'm just not a lay down type of dude. If I know that the odds are against me, I usually come out victorious.
That's the best position to be in.
When the odds are against you, and they be like, they don't do that, they don't do this.
The triumph is better, right?
When
the odds are against you. That's how you live forever, right?
Yes.
That's how you because when you defeat odds, it's like you making a blueprint in people's minds. Like, damn, he said he was gonna do this shit too, right? I mean, look at Ali. Ali said he was a champion before he was a champion.
Ali said he was the greatest.
Before he was 19.
19. Cash.
Now, mind you that, right? 19 fucking years old, and you're saying you're the greatest of all time.
Gee, shit.
Right? You can laugh at it, and people laughed at him, told him he was a clown, he wasn't shit, right? But he believed that shit.
He believed it.
Right?
He came out there.
And he was that.
Man.
Right? But he's not afraid.
No. Well, I just want to tell you, brother, from the bottom of my heart, man, I like to give.
And you know what's funny though? Before you cut it off, the guys that own the cigar lounge, HBCU, Howard and Hampton.
Jakeem, your mean ass. I knew it was something that I liked about you. I knew he was a hustler.
RT from Hampton.
He from Hampton too?
Yeah.
I swear, it's something about the Howard cats. I don't know what it is. Puff to, the sister that's VP, vice president. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to.
I could go down that list for you if you want me to.
Well, shit, why not then? Go ahead.
Isaiah Washington, Debbie Allen, Felicia Rashad, Black Panther, Lynn Winfield. Every one out of every black doctors and lawyers from Howard University. We can do all that.
We can do all day.
Tony Morrison, we could just keep doing
Tony Morrison, really?
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, man, I just want to tell you, brother, from the bottom of my heart, you already know it's family, man. Thank you for coming through. Bro. Thank you for helping me with my boys.
Always.
Just and I look at you as I'm inspired by your movement. Like I really. When I call you and say, yo, man, I need a favor, it's like, nigga, just come through. You know what I'm saying? So now you're that CEO that you could get on the phone with, like, yo, I need a dot right quick. Can I come through? I need this or I need that. Listen, I got my babies coming here. want you to take a look at my children. Can I get them? How big is the? I think he had a waiting list to get in his schools, like 1,500 kids. 1,500 kids to get in your school, executive prep. I was just like, okay, bet this it. You know what I'm saying? I knew you was on a different lane, but you know, and then Forbes, and then just being able to be, you know, just to help, and you not really stingy with the knowledge. So a lot of us don't really give the knowledge, you know. So I just want to tell you, man, I appreciate you coming down, Alpha Nation, taking time out of your busy day. What people can find you at, man, my listeners and viewers.
Posh. Instagram is at Omar Posh LA, at Posh Exotic Rentals, and at Posh Luxury Sales.
Man, and you know, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Alpha Nation, subscribe to Alpha Nation, Red Grady Alpha Nation. Please don't forget Drove Stogies. There you go. That's family right there. Black owned. Howard Products right here in Hampton, right? Howard and Hampton. Bet. There we go. I don't want RT getting mad at me. But they have a YouTube channel, Drove Stogies at YouTube. You know, man, this is what we do here at Alpha Nation. I give cats they flowers while they're here instead of while they're gone, and instead of people, you know, instead of just saying, yo, you inspire me, or I'm inspired by you, Ray Grady, I don't do that. I want to make sure that I say, people, thank you, and yo, man, I'm watching you, and I'm going to mimic what you do in some kind of shape, way, or form. So I'm your boy, Ray Grady, at Grady Comedy, Instagram, Twitter, Ray Grady, Facebook, Alpha Nation. We'll see y'all next week. Love, boy. Black.
Oh, yeah.
But the scent of your perfume was still